want to have a conversation with you. I want to have a conversation with them. You ready?
Yep.
Do you want to start?
Sure.
Yeah, do you want to make sure it's still recording?
Sure.
So...
Hey there, and welcome to our first vlog, non-vlog, I guess. I'm Andrew.
I'm Kayla.
We have a pretty big next year coming up in 2024, where we intend to travel around the world for a full year and work. I don't mean find odd jobs and survive and backpack. I mean, we have jobs today, and we're going to be taking them on the road. I'm a consultant. Kayla works for herself within social media and video editing. So we're going to be doing that from wherever we are, but that'll be a little bit different than the nomadic backpacking life that we've done in the past.
As Andrew kind of mentioned, we're not new to the whole travel thing. If you followed us before, we have a podcast, Away We Go podcast, and we've been working on that for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I started that in June 2020 during the pandemic when we weren't traveling at all, and it was a solo podcast called Kayla on the Road, and eventually, as Andrew started to do some guest appearances on the podcast, I invited him to just join me full time. So we rebranded to Away We Go, and it's been a couples travel podcast ever since.
We're not the most worldly travelers. That's kind of the expectation when we go to 2024 is that we'll do a little bit more, a little bit of new, a little bit of old again.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
I don't think our accents give it away too much, but we are Canadian. Right now we are living on the east coast of Canada. I'm originally from central Canada. I'm from Kenora, Ontario, which is pretty much on the border of Ontario and Manitoba.
I'm from, I guess technically raised in Prince Edward Island, the smallest of the provinces. Kayla and I have been traveling and together for about 7 or 8 years now. Aside from travel, we tend to keep busy, whether it be from playing games, board games, card games, video games, to finding activities and things to do around here. But
we're both involved with the theater community, and we're also involved in the film community.
Yeah.
We live in Fredericton,
New Brunswick, which for anyone who doesn't know the geography of Canada is just northeast of Maine in the US. So the only official bilingual
province
for now.
We met at university.
Here in New Brunswick.
Yep. It took a series of events to get us to these places.
Yeah, we lived a few years in Toronto back in 2015 right after graduating university. So we've been to the big city for a bit. In case we haven't mentioned it, Kayla has been to a little over 20 different unique countries, and I've been to about 15 or so. Most of those, at least most of mine, I've only gone with Kayla. So a lot of my travel has been since we've been together. We're excited to grow that list in 2024 and to kind of take you along with us as we kind of plan that whole thing out.
Yeah. We're also planning on chasing summer because I don't like the cold.
And growing up in the small town East Coast myself, like I loved winters. Yeah. Now that being said, it was maybe because we used to have like snow days and stuff like that, so that was kind of fun. But I don't know. There's a soft spot I have for winter. There's also no mosquitoes. So that's a pretty big win.
I'm just really excited for a full year of wearing shorts, wear capris,
and not to,
like light sweaters.
But not to sound boring, but there's also the benefit of packing and traveling for that is we don't have to bring winter stuff with us, and we don't have to pack for multiple seasons. Part of our research when it comes to figuring out where we want to travel is like, what are the average temperatures? And I think like the lowest might be like teens for Celsius, like 15, 16 degrees Celsius, which is 60s or 70s Fahrenheit. Ooh, I'm really bad at this. One of the reasons why we also wanted to do this vlog is we've seen other couples, we've seen other people start doing these kind of around the world full year travels, and they pop out of nowhere. We follow their journeys and we get to learn about all of what they're going through, but we don't see the beforehand. We don't see all the planning that goes into it. And we thought that's pretty important.
We had no idea where to start, and we're kind of going through this and learning as we go. We can Google all day how much it costs, and sure, there are plenty of people who have budgets, but how did you get to that budget? How did you plan how much money you were going to spend? How did you plan where you were going to start, or what your route was going to be, or what kind of travel you were going to do, whether it's fast or slow, or backpacking and things like that. And so we kind of want to take you on that journey with us, show you from the start what we're doing, what we're planning, where we're going, how we come to these numbers, and what we've decided as far as what we're going to do with things like our house and our belongings while we're gone, our car.
Kayla's really the planner, and she's always been the planner when it comes to our travels. I'm the budget guy, so A lot of this vlog will be a little bit of our day in the life, a lot of our what we're up to, but parts of it will also be what we're doing to plan and what we're doing to budget and kind of covering that.
Like you said, most of those countries that you've been to with me.
A great example would be like the US. I know that's a terrible example, but it's an example in the sense that like the first time I went to the US was with my family.
Yeah.
But you and I have also gone to the US, so
yeah.
technically we've at least hit that country together.
Right.
The only country I've been to that you have not come with me or that you've never been there is India.
Yeah.
And that's still the case. There's probably about 3 or 4 that you've been to that I've never been to.
Down in the Caribbean for the most part.
Most of them are
Caribbean. My family was like a cruise people. We went on cruises and whatnot. And that was kind of like our travel. What did you guys do for travel?
Florida. Well, we had a lot of family who lived in Southern Ontario, so we did a lot of Southern Ontario,
which I think,
Eastern
like,
Ontario.
When you are a parent and you have children, like, the less planning you have to do, the better.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of like one of the best things for us right now is we're at the age where we are willing to do the planning and we're also willing to be a little bit more uncomfortable with where we're staying or what we're eating and things like that. We don't have to worry about kids just yet.
We don't have to worry about other people. It's just ourselves.
We can be selfish in our decisions when it comes to our travel.
And also more risk taking. Like, I know we're not like high risk taking people, but we could also be like, this is a pretty shitty place, but it's okay for one night. Rather than being like, oh God, like what about kids? Like what are we gonna do?
And like we've stayed in some dodgy places. We've showed up at Airbnbs and they didn't exist.
Yeah, hotels that were shut down.
We've been on night trains where
people got into our room.
Shuttled into our room in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Wake us up from sleep.
We've slept in some cool places, like some like pod places. Like the one in Portugal.
Homestays and whatnot
Homestays. By willing to try some new places or different places that aren't like Marriott hotels. Nothing wrong with Marriott.
We love Marriott.
Not sponsored yet. But
we would be. You want to sponsor us, Marriott?
We'll also flip ship for literally any other hotel brand. Because of that, we do have cool stories with like places we stayed. But that's like everything, like things we've eaten, places we've stayed, activities we've done is because we were willing to be like, if we hate it, it's just you and I who did it. So like, that's a story.
Do you have a favorite?
I hate to say that the last was the best. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't always want to be like, the last place we stayed was the best of them all, because then it just sounds like I guess we keep topping ourselves. But I would say, I guess technically it's not our last, but I would say the 3 weeks we did in Portugal were one of my favorites. Portugal in and of itself is quite a diverse ecosystem or kind of vibe depending on where you are. So it's not like going to every spot you're like, it's the same.
Yeah.
So there's a lot, but I also just love the European lifestyle.
I loved Portugal. But I always go back to Thailand. I loved Thailand.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite places that we've been. I want to go back. And hopefully it makes the list for 2024, so we'll see.
That was our first backpacking trip. And it taught us a lot. It was super cool. That was a big comfort breaker kind of thing where it was like neither of us had really done it before. A lot of the stuff that we tend to see online is couples who are backpacking and are trying to like, yes, we are going to be cost efficient, but a lot of the people who do the backpacking are really trying to be cost efficient and are working, local jobs or something else, whereas we need like strong Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Or on the other side of the spectrum is it families who travel. So they're oftentimes doing like homestays or Airbnbs or hotels where it's like they can have 4 people and they have kids and babies. And we're trying to hit that like sweet spot in the middle, which is we're 2 people, we're just a couple, and we are traveling. We're not backpacking. We also don't have kids, but we still need to work. So we're trying to find that balance, and we want to share that because to us, that's kind of like, I don't want to say the future because that sounds a little bit like visionary-esque, is like the future is no borders. I'd like to think so.
Okay.
No, but I think for me, it's like, why are we constantly, other than tax laws, why are we constantly like, you have to be physically somewhere? And it's like, okay, but I work virtually. No, we're not going to be in like a bunk bed hostel, so we don't have to work out of that. But at the same time, too, we're not like,
we're going to be in a smaller space.
We're not in our house. Yeah, exactly. It might be an apartment, it might be
home and smaller. I'm going to have to invest in some good like earplugs or headphones or something.
Yeah.
We're also going to miss friends. Like, we do have a pretty good support network
TV
here.
show?
And
it's...
Stop it.
How did they do it for 10 seasons?
Stop it.
Yeah, no. That I think will be the hardest part is the humanity. No, the human side of it all, which is like, yes, we will be together for a year, which is like every year. But unless we make friends along the way.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
We are fairly social people.
Yeah.
We've made friends in other trips.
I do hate a lot of people.
I know you do.
They're so people.
So glad you don't hate me.
It'll be interesting. I think that'll be another part that'll be interesting is the human connection side of it. Oh fuck. Yeah, I forgot about family. Oh, they may join us for certain legs of the trip.
And our friends may too.
Yeah.
I think that's a really... What?
Sounded like a maybe, guys?
Maybe? Can you come, friends? We'll see. That's all part of the planning.
A lot of this vlog will be day in the life or what we're up to, who we are, get to know us, because this doesn't end at the travel. It includes the trip, right? The whole point of it is really to get to know us now and then get to know us then at the time of.
Yeah.
And there will be some boring parts where I'll talk about money, but if you're
a money person or a spreadsheet person, this guy right
I got
here.
some content for you.
Like I said, I do, well, like Andrew said, I do video editing and social media and stuff for other clients. And I have clients who do vlogs. And one of my favorite vlogs to edit last year for one of them was literally a year wrap up. And it was like emotional for me to watch them progress over 1 year of their life.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to have that next year, to be able to look back at all of these vlogs and see like where we came from and what we did, and
like a visual,
the highs and the lows,
a visual kind of like replay of the year, rather than just kind of being like, well, what did we do? Let's look at the calendar,
or like what games we're playing or what foods we're eating. You know, like it's just a weird it's like a journal.
I guess
it is. You guys are coming on a journal adventure with us.
Yeah,
it's like our journal for the year. I'm just excited to share that and to show that and to have a nice little thing to look back on in years to come, and to show our kids and to...
Kids? What?
Thank you so much for joining us.
And sticking through whatever this video ends up being. Honestly,
we're not quite sure what the schedule's going to be yet, because
we have some weird...
We also don't want to just bore you with videos of us working the entire time.
Yeah, and I feel like there also needs to be purpose to content. Like, this one is our first one. It is kind of just a, hey, what's up? It's us. You know, welcome. But, like, we're not going to just show up in 4 weeks' time and be like, we wash the floors. But there will be purpose to these videos, as well as our day-to-day, monotonous, exciting kind of lives, I guess.
Hit that subscribe button. You get some notifications whenever we do end up posting the next video, whether that is in a couple weeks or in a month. We will establish a schedule, I promise you. I'm not very good with schedules, but you are good with schedules.
Great at schedules. I guess, like I said, we just want to make sure we got something to talk about, so we'll make sure we do next time.
Yeah. Also, you can give it a little thumbs up if you like this video.
That's still a thing?
It is.
Ugh. Yeah. The internet's changing.
Drop us a comment. Where do you want to see us go in 2024?
Any recommendations?
Any recommendations?
Nothing's
Have you done it before?
Yet. Yeah.
I don't want to do like the cheesy podcast sign off.
And that's it for me. And you too.
No.
What if we just left the couch? Like, and we were like, well, I guess that's it. And then we just left. And then like we fast forward and the crew comes and like cleans up. But like it's just us wearing other outfits. Do we have like a end title sequence? Like,
Yabba-daboo.
no, but not like we'll see you next time, or we'll
wrapping this
see
stuff
you
up.
never.
No, we will see you next time.
Ketchup.
We'll work on
mustard. And with that, we wrap.